60 millimetres in the gauge. That was some series of storms that rolled through last night, and we're actually expecting even more today. Our tank's overflowing, I can see that. It's a bit hard to see, but things are absolutely soaking wet this morning. Replanting the bean seeds, most of these have been completely trashed by snails as they've come up, so I'm going to put in another lot. Bean seeds are thankfully fairly common. And here are those beans 3 weeks later. Not 100% success rate, but good enough. It's another early morning, and honestly it is the nicest time for me to be in the garden. Pretty quiet. Well, it's a bit of traffic noise. I'm here hanging with my homie. Sorry, should have probably resisted that joke. And just getting through some of the December tasks. We almost had the reverse weather to November, so in fact it started off really wet and has ended up quite dry with the prospect of more dry weather coming. So we're doing a lot of, well, not we, Steve's doing a huge amount of work putting in an irrigation system throughout the garden. We've been watering and using the sprinkler, and frankly it's a pretty inefficient way of watering, so every year this comes about, we put in all the drip irrigation, and that's great for the garden and saves on the water. Everything gets watered, and it's an automatic system, which means that I don't really have to focus on watering if I get up early in the morning. My two dwarf tomatoes, Bundaberg Rumball, are going into this bed. I'm just putting in some additional fertiliser, some blood and bone and some sulphate of potash, which will encourage flowering. I'm going to tip in a little bit of potting mix, fresh potting mix on the top, and then I'm going to get those plants in there. Check out the growth on these tomatoes. These are the two tomatoes I planted, and I've also popped some marigolds in and a bit of basil. These are the Purplette spring onions which I planted, I don't know which month. I'll put it up on the screen, and I'm going to just clear this bed now. These are ready to come out. Some of them are not a bad size, and particularly given that I grew them in a tub. And some of course are quite tiny. There's a bit of a size comparison, the smallest to the biggest. Well, I think I've got everything there, and actually for a tiny pot it's a good harvest, and we have already eaten quite a few of these, just really sliced up with our salad greens. Absolutely sweet and mild, lovely stuff. So for comparison, these are the Purplette spring onions, and these are some red onions I had growing in the front garden, and we've pulled them out while we've been putting in the new irrigation system. I think frankly the spring onions were probably the better value. To be fair, these ones haven't been in the ground as long, but we've already harvested a whole stack of these just progressively, and I really enjoyed them. So I'm thinking we probably could go the Purplette spring onions in the future. What happens after dark at Feral Manor? No, it's not that. We've had the infrared camera out and we've been interested to see what's been happening, particularly at the watering points in our garden, which not surprisingly is where most animals will come and most birds come to drink. It's probably not surprising that one of the most regular visitors to our little pond is one of the neighbourhood cats, which, yes, should indeed be in curfew at this time of the night, but sadly is roaming around. Just after the cat came past, less than 5 minutes later, this brush-tailed possum turned up. And you can see, if you look closely, that it's wagging its tail from side to side most vigorously. And this is, from what I gather, a sign that it's nervous and concerned. And given that the cat's just been there, it's hardly surprising. Now, the brush-tailed possums come down regularly to drink from this little pond. But look at this little cheeky bugger. Here they are, actually eating my water lily. That little round thing it's got in its paws is one of the leaves off the water lily which grows in this pond. Well, used to grow in this pond until the possums ate all the leaves. It's a bit hard to see, but these are all ants carrying lettuce seeds. Steve has just pulled over some plants when he was doing the irrigating, and the ants are literally carrying the seeds off, which probably explains why we get so many seeds of our lettuces across the garden. Isn't that amazing? There's a bonus video this December. It's in our new playlist, which is called Garden to Kitchen, and that is where you will find the various recipes that we've filmed making things from produce from our own garden. There's no great garden summary for the year, mainly because the garden just keeps growing the way it is. Things move on, the seasons change, we pick up and plant things. We've done a few tasks and bigger tasks during the year, but it's the nature of gardens to just keep rolling on. So the garden continues on, as does the weeding. We have a very select following on YouTube. It would be nice to get a few more people in, but it's the nature of these things. I don't care. I really enjoy making these videos for you, and I hope you enjoy them too. I hope your garden's growing well, and I look forward to hearing from you. It's been great to have you with us here in 2024, and we look forward to seeing you in 2025.
Happy New Year and happy gardening for 2025.
Bye.
Bye.